From WMAD Madison, it's This University Project. I'm Mitch Arvidsson. Okay, so for weeks around here at our English class, we have all been preparing for this day today. The date of this day has been written on our whiteboard in big letters for months, because this is the day that we launch our first real project. Our project is called Sequential. Let me tell you the premise of the project. Instead of each episode bringing you a different theme and a different story, every episode of Sequential brings you back to the exact same story and tells you the next chapter in that story. This is a long story told over a dozen episodes, and it's true. One of our producers and regular contributors, Christina Kamer, is going to be hosting the new series. And the first story of Sequential is taking on about a riot, a death, and a fire. It's a story where what really happened is actually much more complicated than what was reported. And each week we will join Christina on her tireless hunt to uncover these facts, and we will learn the answers just as she does. What we're going to do today is play you the first episode. And with that, here's Christina. I really hope you like this.
For the last year, I've spent every working day trying to figure out what happened on one Brooklyn block one hot summer day in 1989. Or if you want to get more technical about it, and I certainly do, what happened over the course of a few hours one day in 1989. I just want to say I'm not a detective or a private investigator. I'm not even a crime reporter. But yes, every day this year, I've tried to figure out what started a riot, how Radio Raheem died, and how Sal's Pizzeria burnt down. Before I get into why I've been doing this, I just wanted to point out something I'd never really thought about before I started working on this compelling story. And that is, it's really hard to account for your time, in a detailed way, I mean. How'd you get to work last Wednesday, for instance? Did you drive, walk, bike? Was it raining? And are you sure? Did you go to any stores that day? If so, what did you buy? And who did you talk to? The entire day, can you name every person you talked to? It's kind of hard. Now, imagine if you have to account for a day that happened 26 years back. Because that's a situation in the story I'm working on in which a bunch of people had to recall a day 26 years earlier. I've wanted to examine these events because at the time they seemed to be a pivotal turning point in the race relations of Brooklyn and elsewhere in the nation. And despite the gentrification of Brooklyn and some people claiming we live in a post-racial society, we still see many instances of police brutality against young black men. I thought I'd revisit an event still embedded in the public conscience 26 years later. Do you remember what you did on that day?
Nah, not at all. I can't remember anything.
Wait, nothing?
Nah, I can't remember anything that far back. 1989? I'm pretty sure I went for a bike ride, I think. Maybe not.
That's Clifton. He's one of the few white people who lived on the block at that time. He says he was from Brooklyn, but most think he's from Boston. I asked my friend Tina.
I don't really remember. I think I was watching my son. I hope I was watching my son. Maybe I spent the day with Mookie. It was so long ago.
Mookie?
Yeah, Mookie, my boyfriend at the time.
Some people have told me Mookie was involved in the riot and burning down Sal's. Others have even said he caused it.
I don't believe it. Mookie would never do that. He worked at Sal's, and he had to provide for me and provide for his son. He'd never destroy his livelihood.
And what about Radio Raheem?
I don't know nothing about that.
As I continued to interview people, I realized answers were very general, unless the person had actually witnessed the event. This most likely happened, or I think that happened, people asserted. So I sought out people who had been present that fateful night.
Ooh, I absolutely remember that night. I helped burn that godforsaken building down.
That's Mother's sister. She's lived on the block longer than just about anyone.
Sal was a racist, and he needed to go. He's the reason Radio Raheem died.
Wait. Sal physically murdered Radio Raheem?
No. But if he hadn't destroyed his boombox, there would have never been a fight, and the cops would have never shown up. You know how white cops are. They see a young black boy fighting an older white man, and they're gonna assume he started it. Yeah, that's when the cops started choking Raheem, holding him real tight, choking him right there in front of everyone, and didn't stop till he was dead. See? It all could have been avoided if Sal wasn't a racist.
Not everyone shared Mother Sister's interpretation of that night. Demare saw the events differently.
Sal didn't do nothing wrong.
The mayor is also one of the block's longest residents.
I'll tell you, Sal had every right to hang pictures of whoever he wanted on that wall. It was his place. Ain't nobody gonna tell him what to do there. Radio Raheem should have turned down his boombox when he was asked. It's a damn shame that poor boy is dead, but he could have avoided it all on his own.
So you don't see a problem with a non-African American person owning a business in a predominantly African American area?
No, that's not what I said. If you ask me, we should have burned down that Korean convenience store across the street. They never had High Life. They made me drink Miller Lite. I can't stand that garbage.
Looking back on my months of interviews and research, I want to emphasize that this is not a witch hunt. It is out of sheer curiosity that I'm searching for a clear story to the events of that hot night in 1989. Sal deserves the truth to be known. Radio Raheem deserves the truth to be known. This is my goal. Well, that's it for this episode of Sequential. Tune in next time when we try to answer more questions. Like, why did Mookie throw that trash can? Was bugging out the main instigator of these events? And who started the fire? Sequential is brought to you by the English 173 class at the University of Wisconsin-Madison with the support of Ian's Pizza, who wants to remind you that they have salads too. Ian's.